Hey, we are starting the day home. Let me get that thing here. So I am excited and oh, is that oh, the sound is on my it's up on I'm working from the, okay, there we go. Now I can't hear the echo. So I'm excited as y'all can see the grand opening for Rock Truth Cafe is October 11th. The 11th, right? That's what it said, right? Yeah. So make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube as well as on Facebook. Hold on, my hair looking kind of crazy. I just washed it, so it's gonna be how it's gonna be. But make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube and or Facebook, and you'll be notified every time we go live and when the cafe is opening. Okay, so it's a soft open right now. So if you head out to the In the Cup in East Chicago, Indiana, you can. I'm pretty sure you can Google that because it's an official business. All right, In the Cup. Um, Rock Truth Cafe is partnered with In the Cup. Thanks again, King Kelvin Bride, for showing up and answering the call. Okay, because we was out here trying to get a spot, and it was like, no, no, because I got something better coming for you, right? Rejection is God's protection, ain't it? So I have my waffle iron heating up already. It's smoking already. It's smoking. So that's usually the hard part, getting your waffle iron hot enough. And then we're gonna get this hash together. So I have to rush out and grab a couple of extra ingredients because I gotta have extra ingredients because I'm extra. Nah, I mean. So let me turn this like this so y'all can see. It's my camera. Is it just me or is my camera front here? Let me wipe it off. Here. There we go. Okay, get some clarity in my life a little bit. All right. So I had to grab me some more maple syrup because my other maple syrup had gotten old. It was in the cabinet way too long. I think I was supposed to refrigerate it. That's probably why it went bad. But it definitely says on this one, refrigerate after opening because this is pure maple syrup. Stuff is gonna eat it up and grow in it and all of that. But I didn't get sick from using the other one, so I don't know. I probably just got some interesting flora, bacteria and mold or something added to my gut flora. So hey, what don't kill you make you strong, right? We are surrounded by microbes all the time. They are on us, around us, in us, and the ones that don't kill us usually help us get more bang for our buck out of our food because the thing about fruits and vegetables is that our bodies aren't properly equipped to actually break that stuff down. So we need the bacteria to break that stuff down for us and give us the nutrients so we can enjoy all the health benefits of these vegetables like this sweet potato. Like when people trying to cut weight and all that other stuff, like they say don't eat potatoes. Like it's cool and all. Like potatoes actually aren't bad. Yeah, they're starchy and they're high in carbs, but it's good carbs. Okay, they have a ton of other vitamins and nutrients that our body needs. So potatoes aren't bad. It's the other stuff you put in the potatoes that usually make it bad. All right. So if you put a ton of butter and margarine, you should not be eating margarine. Don't eat no margarine. Okay. Grease your door, your squeaky door, or something with it. Put it. I don't know. Don't eat that mess. This potato is not trying to cooperate with me at this moment. I need a wedge here. We're gonna see. Here, maybe if I drive the countertop under this, it wouldn't be sliding everywhere so bad. And I'm just cutting this because I'm not actually gonna peel it. So when you peel your potatoes, you're cutting away some of the nutrition. So if you can, if you're not making like a pie or something, because like pies, you don't want potato skin in your pies. But if you just like cooking them like mashed potatoes and all of that stuff, like don't worry about that skin. Like whoever told you at the outside of something nutritious for you was bad? Like come on now. Let's stop giving away our nutrients to trying to make something look cute. All right, it's supposed to be food. Trust me, it's gonna look a whole lot worse coming out than going in with some skin on there. All right. I would grab the roundest potato to try and do this with. Usually I get like the long skinny one, so I ain't gotta go through this type of jive and mess. Don't do this at home, okay? Because you might cut something off. I'm used to struggling with stuff, and I know my limitations. So understand your limitations. I think I'm missing the whole cut again. I didn't cut it, and now I'm just missing the cut. Here, we just gonna start it. You thirsty, bud? Did you want some more sausage? I gotta get her some water. I'm gonna get you a water, dude. Come back and struggle with this potato again. So I'm putting the potato in first because it has to cook down some, and so I'm basically gonna like pan boil it because I have a deep skillet over here, and I'm gonna put a little bit of water in it. And I'm gonna put a little bit of matter of fact I could put the water in it now so it's heating up and getting ready for the potatoes when I finally get this thing cut in half. I'm probably not gonna need all that water. I might end up pouring some out when I get through cutting this potato up. We'll see. But we just gonna start with that much. I think that was about a cup of water. I didn't cut it. Yeah, most of that. And sweet potato is very much in season. It is a great source of. I don't know why this is like a nightmare right now. It is a great source of. Oh, this will work. Of vitamin C because of that orange color you see it has. There we go. Yeah. Ah, I will not be beat by this potato. Who's here? Who's here? Hey, hey, greetings. Good morning, King. Well, afternoon now. So, with your potatoes, you want to cut them up as small, big. I'm not sure if that's the size, but not too small because you don't want them to end up like turning to mush. But you want them small enough so they don't take forever to cook up and go ahead and get soft. Because yeah, if you don't, you'll end up with a slightly crunchy hash. And I don't know if y'all how y'all like y'all hash. I don't know. Have has I don't know. It seemed like all the people I talked to about like a breakfast hash, they ain't never had no hash. So like like corned beef hash. I usually have like the meat in the can or something like that. I don't know. That I guess that was just like one of those quick little like project dinners or breakfast brunches like that you some stuff you get thrown together in a skillet with a little bit of rice or something that you got from a food pantry or something like that. But yeah, it was fire. So this is kind of a healthy bougie twist on that. So we using known ingredients with some known health benefits. All right, Nothing canned, everything fresh. There we go. And like I said, to make it easier to cut the potatoes, if you want, like, you could bake them whole, like wrap it in foil, bake it whole, and that'll make the potato soft. And then you can just cut it up like that and throw it into your stir fry when you get your stuff going. Or you can do it the hard way, like I'm doing it, because I don't want to use up all y'all day with a potato in the oven. Because if you do it the other way, you could definitely pre-bake them. Like if you want to do like a meal prep type thing, you could have a couple of pre-baked sweet potatoes, wrap them in foil, and then bake them up. It's about like 30 or 40 minutes to bake them. And then you can just store it like that, and then just take it out. It's already cooked. It'll already be soft. Once it thaws, if you decide to freeze it, you can freeze it. Once it thaws, it'll already be cooked and soft, and you can just chop it up that way and throw it in your hash. Or you can go ahead, bake them, and then chop them and already have them baked and chopped. It depends on, I don't know how much prep you're trying to do beforehand, because I have noticed that when I go ahead and I put in that effort on the front end and go ahead and prep my stuff, then when I need it and I actually go to cook it, it's so much faster and easier. And then more I'm usually more open to trying more difficult recipes, because the hard work, the prep work, is already done. So just a quick tip for that. There we go. And then I have here, this is some baby spinach and baby kale. So you can do just spinach, you can do just kale, you can do collard greens, whatever your favorite leafy green vegetable is. You can even put some broccoli in this. Like, get creative with it. Do your thing. The whole point of this is to get your vegetables in. All right. The whole point is to get your vegetable nutrition in, because vegetables got that medicine, right? Got that medicine. And we coming up on the holiday season where everybody love to eat and cook and eat some more. And then you gonna cook at your house, and you gonna go to everybody else's house and get an extra plate and another. You want another piece? Here. How'd you do the? And we were going around to everybody's house getting plates and all that other stuff. So you're gonna have an abundance of food. So this is a very good way to make sure that you're not overdoing it. Like, yeah, you can go ahead and get plates at other people's house, but make sure you're not overdoing them portion sizes, y'all. If you get a plate that's stacked up 3 feet high, make sure you eating 3 servings out of that plate, not sitting up at one time eating that whole plate. That's what the problem be. It don't be the amount of the food that you get, and it's the amount of the food that you eat. That's where it counts. You can't gain calories that you ain't eating, right? And so that's why I am a strong advocate for cooking for yourself, because for one, like I said, you know what's in it. For two, you can control what it is. So not everybody, like I said, not everybody cook the way you cook, and they probably made their greens and put all kind of extra stuff in it. You don't know what's in it, or like I said, those starches. People love to put potatoes and macaroni on the same plate together. You eating all of that at one time? Yeah, that's all starch. Pasta, cheese, potatoes with extra butter. Come on, y'all. Come on. We got to do better than that. So I got my pomegranate here as well. I don't know. I might throw some beets in that hash too. We'll see. So I have my pomegranate here. And And so on the recipe, I did put you can use pancake mix for your waffles to make it easier if you like short on time. I actually don't have any pancake mix, so y'all gonna see me making these pancakes. I mean these this waffle mix from scratch. So yeah, I'm trying to see how we're gonna cut this because we got to get these seeds out of here. That pomegranate. Look at that pomegranate. Oh, I didn't know the thing was in the way the whole time. Y'all ain't even gonna say nothing. Look at that pomegranate. I love pomegranate. Like as a kid, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I love pomegranate. Like there was nothing, not a thing you could tell me about pomegranate that was gonna make me stop eating. When they came in season and we went to the grocery store, that was the first thing I would run to the produce section and grab was my pomegranate and then my eggnog. And I was a happy camper pulling this open just like this and just sitting there watching Power Rangers eating my pomegranate seeds. I swear I'm not from the country. I actually grew up in California mostly, so yeah. It was more like this. I was sitting in front of my Power Rangers eating my pomegranate. So I actually got my little country twang from living in Chicago, but I didn't originally start out with that. Uh, my other cousins, not my favorite cousins. My favorite cousins are bomb, but my other cousins, we used to they used to talk about me and stuff and talk about how I sounded like a white girl. My auntie too. You sound like a white girl, I guess. I lived in California where they talk like that, so I'm not sure what I was supposed to sound like. So I just started mimicking the people around me, and then boom, Chicago accent. All right, there you go. And I mean, that's really kind of how stuff is. Like, you end up becoming your environment. So if you're trying to eat healthier, but you going and visiting people who not eating healthy all holiday season, I feel like that's gonna be a struggle. That's gonna make you feel left out. People offering you plates and food and stuff that you not eating or you don't want to eat. So I mean, just a suggestion: cook your own food, eat before you leave the house, so you're not tempted. Because we are definitely a product of our environment. But the best part about that is you can create your own environment. Oh, look at that! You see how that works? When you take responsibility for your own growth and your own actions, ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. Okay, that's my jam. Throwback jam right there.
Oh, you doing
I'm making the waffles in the sweet potato hash.
oh, that's right, you cooked. She woke up just in time. I would have been back, but I got lost. I took the wrong turn when I hit Frank, and I went left instead of right.
Okay, I'm trying to see. This might be enough pomegranate seeds for our pomegranate maple syrup. And it's real simple. We're just gonna mash these up. I'm gonna keep a couple, make it cute at the end, a little garnish. And then we're gonna just mix it in with the syrup that we're gonna be using to put on top of our waffles, and that is done. Like that's what I'm saying. It's very easy to get your fruits and vegetables in when you get creative with how you're adding these fruits and vegetables. Because I know people like pomegranate, like who just sit around and eat pomegranate? Like that sounds like that's a lot of work. I didn't mind doing the work to pick all the seeds out when I was a kid, so that was not a struggle for me. But as an adult who's not used to eating stuff like this, I would say try this recipe. And so when you start doing stuff like that, like adding fruits that you've never tried to stuff that you know that you like, you expand your horizons and you tend to get a wider variety of nutrition, of nutrition into your diet. And you'll be surprised at the type of results that you get when you do that. So we're gonna get this. This gonna be my little snack piece right here. All right, so we're gonna set that off to the side. So I got my little pomegranate seeds here, and now I'm gonna get me a fork or something to mash it up. So here, let me show y'all. Unplug the charger. So this is how the potatoes are looking. All right, so they're cooking. I don't have nothing in the water. It's just sweet potatoes in there. That's it. All right, and I might actually turn this up to boil some more of that water off. So as more of the water boils off, then I'll start adding my flavorings, my seasonings. I'm gonna add a little bit of vanilla extract. I'm actually not gonna add any sugar. I mean, not vanilla extract. I meant ginger. I like adding certain spices to my potatoes, especially because it's going in a hash. You can definitely add like a breakfast meat to the hash if you would like to, but I'm not going to, not this time, because my waffles are actually going to have protein in it because I have a baked goods protein powder that I use for my waffles and stuff, and because I'm making my waffles from scratch, I get to choose what goes in my dry mix. So that's another reason why, like I said, it's a good idea to make your own stuff because then you can personalize it as such and get a lot more benefit out of it that you personally would like or need. So now I'm actually gonna get a separate bowl because I'm gonna strain these seeds out of it and I'm gonna eat them separate. But I don't really want these seeds on my waffles, so that's why I'm doing that because I just feel like that's gonna be in the way. So we just got some pomegranate juice. You can definitely keep the whole pomegranate seed in if you want that, but I don't. I know how crunchy the little seed part is, so I don't really care for that going on right now. So I'm gonna just borrow the juice. So we got pomegranate. And in that little portion that I plucked out, that wasn't even half of this pomegranate. It's probably like maybe a quarter of it, if that. But I actually got a lot of pomegranate juice out of this, and it's actually still a lot more to get. I'm not trying to be that thorough. I'm gonna eat this anyway. Like I'm still gonna eat the seeds. I just don't want them in my syrup. I mean, yeah, I just don't want them in my syrup. And then we're gonna open our syrup. Syrup. So here, let me show y'all how this juice is in here looking. So see and it's very red. That's why I don't know. You can't really see the difference between that and the bottom of the little cup thing I have. And so I'm eyeballing this, but I would say only like maybe 2 tablespoons because really you're just adding the maple syrup for that sweetness and the maple flavor. So you don't actually. Yeah, like I said, I paid attention to the bottle this time because it definitely said refrigerate after opening, so my syrup don't go moldy on me. And then we're just gonna mix that together, and then boom, we got our pomegranate maple syrup. Let me taste it. Ooh, it's ooh. Okay, that is good. So that was a good idea. And I wanted to do it with cranberries, but I haven't found fresh cranberries in the store just yet. So that's why I didn't do it with cranberries. But pomegranate, obviously, from my reaction, is just as good. So I'm good with all of that. All right, so let me clear some of this stuff so we don't make a mess. toss this. Woo. Don't mind pomegranate peel. Now, if you were doing it with cranberries, you wouldn't be able to use them raw like how I just did with the pomegranate. You would have to boil the cranberries for like 20 or 30 minutes, maybe not even, maybe not 30, but about 20 minutes from what I've from my experience with them. But you take about like a cup of water for like every cup of cranberries. It's roughly a 1-to-1 ratio, but you want your cranberries to be fully submerged in the water. Why am I over here? Oh, and I got my other stuff I'm gonna add to this mix. So I wrote this down. Let me, because I had to cut the recipe. Okay, so my bad. I had to get because I had to cut the waffle recipe because the original one that I looked up makes 8 waffles. I don't need that many waffles. So I need 1 cup and 2 tablespoons of flour. But instead of regular all-purpose flour, I'm going to use my baked goods mix because this has 15 grams of protein in it. So this is actually replacing the meat protein I would have gotten had I added breakfast meat. So that's why I didn't add, why I'm not making my sweet potato hash with any breakfast meat because I don't need it. Because my waffles will be sufficient on the meat side. And then it also has some calcium, so 20% of your daily value of calcium and 15% of iron. And I'm anemic, so I need all the iron I can get in my system. And 8% potassium. So it's it's a step up from regular all-purpose flour. And so I'm aiming for a cup and some, and then I'm just gonna add this stuff, and then whatever other portion. This is wheat flour, and then whatever other portion of the dries that I need, then I'm gonna fill that in with all-purpose flour. And then, like, if you're using all wheat flour instead of all-purpose flour, you're gonna have to adjust your liquid for like an extra 2. I think it said 2 teaspoons, 2 tablespoons. It was either teaspoons or tablespoons. I'm gonna have to look that back up. But you're gonna have to adjust your liquid so that you have like a little bit more per cup of wheat flour. That was flaxseed. Flaxseed is great for digestion. It adds extra fiber. And our potatoes are done. All right, so let me show y'all how the potatoes are over here looking. So let me grab a back. I'm not over. All right, so here's my potatoes. They're actually really soft, as you can see. So that's exactly how I want them to be. I want them to be soft when I poke at them. Okay, because like I said, you don't want to bite down on a crunchy potato, especially not a crunchy sweet potato. I don't know, that flavor just kind of throw me off a little bit. So that is done, and then I'm just gonna throw a lid on that while we're getting our waffle mix together over here. So let me see, I can see what I'm adding. All right, so we have almost a cup, and now for the rest of that, we're just gonna add in all-purpose flour. And so we're gonna mix all the dries up first. Is that cornmeal or flour? This is the cornmeal. I'm sure looking like, where's the scoop? It's in the flour still. Because that is not flour. See, I'm glad we leave the scoop in the flour because I so was about to end up almost adding some cornmeal. Woo, watch out, son. All right. Okay, and that put me like almost right at it. It's a little bit over, but it's okay. And then we're gonna add. So it says add salt, but I'm actually not gonna add any salt because I'm gonna use salted butter, and salted butter is pretty salty. And it wants us to add, let's see, about a tablespoon and a half of sugar. I'm using my light brown sugar. I need a scoop so I can. Where am I scoop? Oh. So this is 35 cc. So that's what, like 3 tablespoons or something like that. So not a whole scoop. That looks about right. That looks about it. If you use a liquid sweetener like agave syrup or honey or maple syrup or something like that, I would suggest that's cayenne pepper. I would suggest adding that to your liquid mix, not into this dry mix. Because like I said, we're pre-mixing this stuff to make sure that our baking powder and stuff that we add is going to be completely mixed in. And like I said, trust me, you don't want to not have your baking powder mixed in. That's going to be a problem. So that was just a little bit of cinnamon. And I got to get my little scoop of this because we only need a smidge. Just a little bit because some of this got under the lid. So we're going to scoop out. This is roughly a half a teaspoon. Is that how much? We need a teaspoon and a half of baking powder. All right, so this is it right here. Boop. All right. So the baking powder is in, and then you want to make sure this is completely mixed in. All right, let's see if there's any more dry cinnamon. Nope, that's it. Okay, and then in a separate little bowl or cup or something, you're gonna separate out your egg yolk from your egg white because we're gonna beat the egg white into like a nice little foamy peak, little peaks like you're making a meringue almost basically. And that's gonna add the fluff and make these waffles extra fluffy. Okay. And oh yeah, and so it's pumpkin spice. So the thing about pumpkin spice is it's literally cinnamon and nutmeg. Like trust me, there's nothing special about it. And I actually have, let me see, it's back here somewhere because I actually did manage to buy some just because. Here we go. This says pumpkin pie spice, but it's cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, ginger, and cloves. Like that's what pumpkin spice is. It's literally to spice the pumpkin. Like if you real jazzy with the recipe and how stuff moving, you can definitely add real pumpkin to your waffles. And if you try that, let us know how that turns out. I'm not sure how that would adjust for the liquids and stuff that you would use in your mix, but you want it to be pourable. because that's how waffles are. You know, you want to be able to pour the batter. And that, I think that's mixed enough. Because like I said, with that baking powder, you don't want it to not be mixed in. And I'm telling you this from experience. So this is a very, let you see that. So that's how that's looking. And it's dark because I added some wheat flour to it and some flaxseed. So it's not going to be plain white like if you use a pancake mix or only all-purpose flour. So we have our dries mixed over there, and then we grab our bowls. And we're going to separate our egg. So I got this trick. So what you do is you crack the egg open, but you don't dump it, and you just flip it back and forth between the eggshell, and that separates the yolk and the egg white pretty cleanly actually. Do it one more time. And boom. Now we got our egg separated. I hope y'all saw me do that because I only got one egg to do that with. My bad, y'all. My bad. So in our bowl with our egg, that's what we're gonna add our extract to. We got our vanilla extract here. Our milk and our oil. So we need a cup, measuring cup. I thought it was over here because oh no, it's in the cabinet. We put it away. So I'm gonna beat this egg first before I add the milk because I don't want to splash the milk everywhere. I'm trying to beat that down. Our cup of milk. Um, I'm not using vegetable oil. I'm gonna actually use olive oil. How much oil do I need? A fourth of a cup. So I can eyeball that. It's like that much. The thing with that is, if you end up adding too much oil, all it's gonna do is just make your waffles greasy. But olive oil is a pretty decent source of oleic fatty acid, which is great for all types of stuff like your heart and your cholesterol levels and all of that. So I don't know, people like match oil and fat with bad, and that's not true. It's certain type of oil, certain type of fat from a certain source. All right. So the source matters, how it was made matters, how it was cooked matters. Um, all of that stuff matters. All right. So now I'm not gonna mix these two together yet because I gotta whisk my egg right now. So now we just gonna whisk this until it's and beautiful, right? So the key to this is get as much air into it as possible. I think I frosted it up enough to actually use the whisk. Let's see if the whisk can work better. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna whisk it. And so this step is important to getting fluffy. Well, this is actually a Belgian waffle recipe. So if you want to leave out the pumpkin spice and all that stuff, you can. You can have nice, regular, vanilla Belgian waffles. Um, that's the only difference with Belgian waffles is they're fluffy because of this extra step here. So you see how it's starting to froth up? If I was doing this with 2 eggs, I would have used a hand mixer, but since I'm just doing this 1 egg, I didn't want to attempt to try and do that because then I would have had to do it in a plastic bowl, and I don't think I'd have a bowl that could fit the mixer and do what I needed to do. So we're doing it by hand. It's all right. It's a good arm workout. We're going to switch a little bit. Let me see if I can do it with my left. Okay, left hand going. All right, lefty. Trying to be ambidextrous in the kitchen. Okay, and this is actually getting to the consistency that we needed. So we want a nice stiff peak. Okay, so yeah, you want it to do that. When it says stiff peaks, we're not quite there yet. Because stiff peaks is like when you pull it, it stays sitting up. So we almost there. All right, I think we got it. Okay, boom, there it is. All right, so we're gonna do that, and now we're gonna mix this together. Let me move my notes. Yeah, I had to write down the reduced recipe because I can remember the regular recipe off the top of my head, but I had to split the amounts because we're not making that many waffles. Because this right here, this already probably about to be a lot. Because I have a little waffle maker. A Belgian waffle maker tends to be like bigger, and mine isn't that big. So you got to be mindful of what you're working with, okay? Or what you got to work with. Mixing it in. Trying to get these lumps. Make sure ain't no lumps. And all the dries. That's why I like using this glass container. Not only because it has measurements on the side, so I can kind of measure as I go, but also because okay, so that's a pretty good consistency. So let me show y'all. This is a pretty good consistency. You want, like I said, you want it pourable. You don't want it to be like extra thick, and you don't want it to be too runny, especially because like the mix that I made with the wheat flour is actually going to be thicker, and I like my waffles with some oomph to them anyway. So, and now with this, we're gonna fold it in and not make sure we don't over mix because we want to keep the airy fluffiness of it. Get my little scoopy scoop. And then while this waffle is cooking, we're gonna finish our hash. And I can actually use that egg bowl to scramble up my eggs that go in the hash. All right, so let me. All right, So this is, I don't know if y'all can see this. There we go. All right, there we go. So meet my waffle maker. And we're just gonna spray it. Top and bottom, you want to spray both sides so that your waffle don't stick on the top or the bottom, and you can just pull it out. So I'm folding in my egg whites now. Here, I'm actually going to switch this out because this little fork causing problems, unnecessary problems. I'm going to get my little spatula here again. And we're just going to fold. Okay, and then you're going to do it according to your waffle maker. My waffle maker can't handle that much batter at a time because it'll cook up and then squish out the sides. So I have to be kind of stingy with how much I put in there. So if you know your waffle maker, follow how your waffle maker move and then go with that. And then we're going to close it and let it do its thing. And now we're back over here to cut up our stuff. Let me get my eggs. Our eggs. I actually have some onions already cut up. And I'm a fresh garlic kind of gal. So I'm going to chop me up some garlic to add to my sweet potatoes over there. And I'm just take a fingerful of onion, add it. Nothing spectacular or special. We're just putting all the ingredients in there. Like I said, all the harder to cook up ingredients. Getting my egg ready to scramble so I can scramble and add, because you don't want to have to wait around when you go to add your eggs and stuff to the mix. Okay, and I got my mushrooms here. These are shiitake mushrooms. You can use whatever kind of mushrooms you want. I suggest using mushrooms. I know people are like, mushrooms. I don't eat mushrooms. Unless you're allergic to mushrooms, I strongly suggest you eat them because mushrooms have a ton of nutrients and stuff that plants do not have, because they're actually the ones that fix the nitrogen in the soil for the plants to get. So the nitrogen that we get from the plants, the mushrooms are actually the ones that provide it for the plants. So mushrooms are like the flower of the mycelium that run underground that we can't see. They're little hair-like type situations. That's not. They almost look like, I don't know how to describe them. I'm trying to think. Like if you've seen a fiber optic wire, that's kind of what they look like. Little natural fiber optics. And I think that might be even where they got the idea to do that from, when they found out that mycelium make giant networks of um, little organisms underground. So a mycelium is actually the main portion of the mushroom plant. That's actually what generates the fruit body, which is the mushroom that we end up seeing and eating. And those are actually made up of a bunch of individual cells that just link together into this extra long network. But technically, it's the same organism. So it's a like a multicellular multicellular single cell, or I don't even know how to describe it like really off the top of my head. But mushrooms are probably like one of the most interesting uh, things in the plant kingdom for me. And they're not even in the plant kingdom. They have their own little section because they are so unique and so beautiful. They are fungi. So all of that, they're in their own little world. And I get it. I totally get it. And it's thousands, what, like 100 something thousand that have been discovered, or 14,000, some different species that have been discovered, and they say that there's thousands yet to be discovered. So you could definitely go out on a nature walk, on a forest walk, and probably identify a whole brand new species of mushroom. Just be diligent and document, photograph stuff, and research, to find out what's what. You can even send little samples off to a lab to get it genetically tested to see if it matches anything already in the database. And then if it's not, then you can end up being credited with discovering a mushroom and name it and all of that. Like, that would be cool. So if y'all do end up doing that, let us sister know. Because I would definitely like to hear about that. And I'm just the skillet isn't on still. I'm just adding all this stuff to the skillet because my potatoes are actually perfectly soft, so I don't want to overcook them. So I'm just making sure that the amounts of the other stuff that I want is in there the way I want it. And then once all this stuff is sufficiently heated, then I'm just going to throw my greens on top and my egg, because I actually want the greens to get mixed in with the eggs. So I'm adding the greens first, then my little mixed egg situation over here. All right, so I got all of that stuff cut up, and oh, and I'm actually gonna. I have a handful. I'm actually gonna cut, like, slice the greens up because they do still have some. Well, actually, they do have somewhat of a stem on them, and I eat the stems too. Like, whatever stem is left on it, it's just gonna get ate. And so that's why I usually slice through them, just to make sure that the stems are small enough to not be in the way. And then also to make sure that I have enough greens in there, because these will cook down. So if you want it greeny and leafy like how I like mine, make sure you cut your greens and stuff up first. So, that was almost a finger. Okay. So I got my greens over there. I'm going to grab some smoked paprika. That's my jam. And I've actually been using this little bugger. Sprinkle. What is this? Yep. 24 herbs and spices from Brad. Uh, they're the ones that make the apple cider vinegar that people be like raving about. Like, get you some ACV. It's an ACV cleanse. Like, I guess. You know what else is a good cleanse? Not eating junk. That's a great cleanse. So usually, that's why I like to cycle in like vegetarian and vegan meals, because it does the exact same thing that some nasty little cup of something would do, but better, because guess what? Your body does all of that stuff itself. Your body is already set up to work. We end up working again. Oh, that's oregano. I'm not trying to put no oregano in there. See, I'm mixing my herbs up over here. I'm trying to find. There it is, my parsley. So I'm putting some parsley flakes in there. Parsley is actually pretty good for digestion. So is mint, but I'm not adding mint to this, and I don't have any. I like fresh mint, but I don't have any at the moment. And some dried thyme. And what we got? And a little bit of adobo. You know you can add a little bit of adobo. Cause I don't make stuff too salty. I'm not big on salt and stuff. Not too much no more. Let me check on my waffles. So my waffles are cooked. Make sure. So here's my waffles, y'all. They did end up sticking a little bit, but it's not bad. Pluck it off. They're really soft though. Okay. This smells so good. All you smell is all the little spices I added to it. That's all it smells like. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. We're just gonna add our next little waffle dip to it. And it seems like the longer this sit, like the fluffier this little batter gets. So also be aware of that. So like I said, I'd rather under pour my waffle maker than over pour it because it starts gushing out the sides and it makes a big old mess. So I'm not worried about not having a whole and full waffle. So I'm gonna bring y'all over here now, and we're gonna finish up. Yeah, I got this here. This is my my little production board next to the stove. Ooh, I seasoned the mess out of this. It smells so good in this pan. I'm trying to sit this in so this ain't in the way. Y'all can see up in there a little bit. Okay. I guess that's as good as it's gonna be. So I'm gonna turn this back on. And I'm actually gonna add some oil to the pan because the sweet potato soaked up all of the water. So it ain't no more water in the pan. So 1 cup of water is perfect. And I let it boil with the lid off until all of the water boiled off. And that was perfectly fine. Ooh, I almost forgot to add my peppers to it. Y'all wasn't even gonna say nothing. Y'all was just gonna let me do it like this and it not be colorful. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Why y'all do me like that? Here, we're gonna turn that off because I gotta chop these peppers up. Y'all gonna let me forget my peppers. I thought we was cool. I thought we were cool. Mm-mm-mm. So I have these are sweet peppers. Hey baby. Yeah. You sing your song? Ooh. So I like to use the red, the orange, the yellow, and they don't ever put equal amounts of them in there. Sometimes it'd be like a bunch of yellow, a bunch of orange, and like a couple of red, or like one red, or but like this time I got a bunch of red and a bunch of yellow and like 2 orange. So it's not an even amount, but it's colorful still, and it's still a very good way to get a nice mix of antioxidants into your food. And so, and it also makes it pretty. Like, come on, y'all. Who don't want to eat something that just look gourmet and all like fancy and stuff? And it's not even fancy. Like the vegetables are fancy on their own. Like you just gotta cook them. Just cook them, all right? Vegetables are fancy, all right? The fruit and stuff it's already fancy. Oh, you fancy, huh? Fancy, huh? Fancy, huh? Red and orange and yellow bell peppers. Red and orange and yellow sweet peppers. Yup. You would only know that song if you were a Fabulous fan. I'm not a Fabulous fan. I just really like that song. Matter of fact, that album was kind of decent because I like a couple of his other songs on there too. When I'm trying to get in my confidence groove. I like to play those. I like to play those for myself. Hey, Queen. Yep, we almost done. We got the first set of waffles out, and we're gonna finish up this hash, and then we're gonna put this plate together and smash the hash. Turn the fire back on. I knew it wasn't on. Even though y'all wasn't gonna tell me, I knew it wasn't on yet. I wasn't trying to turn it on just yet because I had to get more stuff in there, and I ain't trying to burn my food up. All right, so season, and then I always tell people season your vegetables the way you're gonna season your meat. So you saw all this that seasoning stuff I put in here. Like, don't over season it though, because you're gonna, trust me, you're gonna wanna taste the vegetables. You're gonna wanna taste your food coming through. All right. So I usually overdo it with the herbs and stuff because the herb flavor tends to mix in pretty well, but it's like the spices and the salt you want to be very careful of because you can always add like the spice, like even I'll even top it with some smoked paprika or some ginger or some ground ginger or something like that. But once it's in there, you can't take it out. So I rather under under season it with like the salts and the spices because those you can definitely add after. The herbs you want to cook into it because that's what brings the flavor of the herbs out is the cooking during the whole cooking process. So I actually need a little bit more oil because I'm gonna get ready to add my greens to it and I don't want them to burn. Right? We need this. This smells really good though. So I have my fresh garlic diced up in there, some onion diced up, my shiitake mushrooms, my sweet potatoes, and then my sweet peppers, my red, orange, and yellow sweet peppers, and now I've added my spinach and kale. And then we just gonna toss this on medium high heat until our greens start to cook down. And then once those get a little bit wilted, then we're gonna add our egg. And the thing with the egg is it's not actually gonna like turn into like a scrambled egg mix. It's gonna end up coating everything in the pan. So everything is gonna be basically egg coated. So this is how you get your mix of vegetables. Like this is vegetarian at the moment. So or vegan. I think this even counts as vegan. So there's no animal products, none whatsoever in this skillet at this point. So you can definitely, if you're vegan or vegetarian, you can definitely stop here, and this is perfectly fine. This is healthy. You can even add some beans if you need some extra protein, or do like I did, get you a protein powder and add it to your waffles. So yeah, Herbalife Oversnap would put we're making that baked goods mix because I don't use nearly as much flour and stuff, and then I even have like this extra wheat flour that I use now too to compensate. So I'm cutting back on a ton of calories with doing that. So thank y'all. And then now we're gonna add our egg in, and we're just gonna stir it. Okay, we're just gonna stir it until the egg is fully cooked. And it's best to cook this on a low, like steady heat. That way you don't burn the eggs or overcook your vegetables. And like I said, you get a nice, even coating on everything with your eggs. So it's almost like a deconstructed omelet, I would say. Like instead of it being completely wrapped in eggs, everything is just individually covered with eggs. And so you want to keep your flame low. That way you don't burn nothing or. So this is smelling amazing right now, y'all. Like, oh my goodness. And let me make sure my waffles ain't back here burning. And the waffles are perfecto. Yep, y'all ain't know I could multitask like that, did you? Yeah, I reached back there and I plucked my waffles out of the waffle maker so they wouldn't burn while I'm finishing up the hash. I still have maybe like 4 more waffles to make because like I said, I have a small waffle maker, and I think my daughter's gonna enjoy the waffles too because she likes my Herbalife donuts and waffles and stuff that I've eaten, muffins and all that stuff that I'll be making with that. Like, and she's a picky eater. Like she almost lost her. I tried to give her some oatmeal. She almost lost her mind. She was like, "What is that?" She was trying to flick it off the spoon on the floor, like, "Oh, what is this? Why would you put this on my spoon?" No. Like, I'm like, chill out. It's just oatmeal. She was not going for none of the okie doke. She's like, no, it's not. You want me to eat that? No, I'm not eating that. But I put anything, Herbalife shake, a donut, a waffle, she'll eat it. She tears it up. But I'm happy for her because I know she's getting all of the nutrients that I know she's not getting when she refuses to eat stuff like oatmeal. Because oatmeal is super nutritious, and y'all gonna stop slandering oatmeal's name out here because oatmeal is delicious. All right. and, and yes, I'm biased. Okay, I'm biased. I like my oatmeal. Yup. All right, so this is done. We're gonna turn that off. And then I'm gonna get my plate together so y'all can see how this is looking. Everything smells amazing. This syrup I made is on point. Okay. And like I said, because of the baked goods mix that I use in my waffles actually have some protein in them. It's probably like based on how it's split up, it's probably like 5 or 6 grams of protein per like 2 waffles. But it's still more protein than you would get if you use regular pancake mix. So check your girl out if you're trying to up your protein, because that's how I've been building healthy weight, building muscle, cutting fat, slimming and toning up. And since this is mostly vegetables, half your plate, half your plate should be vegetables. So yeah, I laid it on the plate pretty thick. All right. And then let me get my maple syrup. Excuse me, I'm bougie today. My pomegranate maple syrup. And so this what it's looking like right here. Ooh, 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 ooh. Careful now, careful. Don't hurt him. Don't hurt him, baby girl. So that's it right there. And that is, and like I said, if you want, you can put some extra pomegranate on top for the garnish to make it pretty. But I'm gonna eat mine just like that because it looks and it smells good. It's hot. So that's all I got for y'all today. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, and follow us because guess what? The cafe has a brick and mortar. All right, it is visitable. You can walk right in. You can get some tasty goodness. Let me find it. Here we go. Boom. There it is. Okay. Grand opening. Time 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. 3821 Main Street, East Chicago, Indiana. All right. The host is in the Cup restaurant. Like I said, when you walk up, it's going to be in the Cup restaurant. And he was so kind and so gracious and so obedient to the calling that he let us slide up in there right on next to him. Okay. Making wraps, pico bowls. You got some fruit with the spice on top. It looks delicious too. My mouth just started watering. Mary been going crazy making what was that? A banana split in a cup. Oh my goodness. Slushies, lemonades. Like, look. And in the cup ain't no joke neither. So make sure y'all go check them out. Next week we will be doing, let me see, what recipe do I have? It's a squash recipe. It's a lunch recipe. Salad. Winter squash salad. Okay. This is delicata and I forgot the other type of squash. But we getting into the nitty and the gritty. We're gonna try us some new vegetables, y'all. Okay, we're gonna expand our horizons together with in season vegetables. Squash is very in season. There's a lot of varieties, and they all have a different set of nutrients that you can get from them. Very similar, but still different. And it just makes eating more interesting when you try something new. So make sure y'all tune in next week and follow us, like, share, and subscribe because we have shows all week long. All right. And as usual, if you don't do nothing else, rock truth or nothing at all.